Hello, this is lesson 7.3 triangles, and for this video notes you're going to just draw a vertical line straight down, and that is all. And then underneath the title I want you to write the statement, all angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. Pause the video to do so, and when you're ready to continue, press play. Please pause now. Okay, on the left side of your paper, I want you to write these 4 vocabulary words. These are words we can use to describe a triangle by its angles, so using its angles. So we have acute triangle, which is where all 3 angles are acute. We have an obtuse triangle where there's one obtuse angle. We have a right triangle where there's one right angle. And then we have an equal angular triangle where there's 3 congruent angles. Pause the video to copy this down, and when you're ready to continue, press play. Please pause now. Okay, so let's first go through each one, and we're going to draw a picture of each type of triangle. So in this first one, it's called the acute triangle. That's where we have 3 angles that are all acute. So if you forgot what acute means, its acute angle is means it has less than 90 degrees in the angle. And then I want you to sketch an acute triangle that looks like this, putting in the degree measurements. And notice that all 3 angles added together will equal 180 degrees. And they're all less than 90. That makes it an acute triangle. Pause the video to do so, and when you're ready to continue, press play. Please pause now. Okay, for the next word, obtuse triangle, an obtuse triangle has only one obtuse angle, and obtuse means greater than 90 degrees. A triangle cannot have more than one obtuse angle, because then it wouldn't make a triangle. So in this case here, this angle is about 130 degrees. So I want you to sketch this triangle next to it and label it 130. And then for our next triangle, right triangle, that's a triangle where it has one right angle. I'm going to underline 1, okay? A triangle cannot have more than one right angle, or it would not make a triangle. And here on the side is a picture of a right triangle. This square here means that that is a right angle. I'll go ahead and draw an arrow pointing to that. Pause the video if you need to copy those 2 down before continuing to number 4. Please pause now. So now for the 4th word, we have an equal angular triangle. An equal angular triangle is a triangle that has 3 congruent angles. The word congruent means that it has the same measure. So a triangle with 3 congruent angles will have 3 angles that have all the same degrees. So an equal angular triangle will have 3 angles that are all 360 degrees. Pause the video if you need to finish copying this down, and then press play when you're ready to continue. Please pause now. On the right side of your paper, we're going to write these 3 vocabulary words that are words we use to describe a triangle using its sides. So for the first one, we're going to look at the scalene triangle. The scalene triangle has no congruent sides. So in geometry, what we sometimes do to show that side lengths are different lengths is we put these little tick marks on the side lengths. So this one tick mark usually represents a side that might be shorter than this one here that has 2 tick marks. And then this side here has 3 tick marks, so it's a different length than these 2, and it's probably the longer side. So go ahead and draw this picture with this description here next to it, and pause the video if you need to. Please pause now. Okay, for the second type of triangle we can use to describe its sides is it's the isosceles triangle. An isosceles triangle has 2 congruent sides. So the picture for an isosceles triangle looks like this. So here I drew an isosceles triangle, and then these 2 sides have 1 tick mark each, which means they are the same length. Congruent means they have the same measure. So these two have the same side length. And then again, pause the video if you need to copy the definition in the picture down. Press pause at any time. And we're going to move on to number 3. Number 3 is the last type of triangle we're going to learn about, which is the equilateral triangle. And an equilateral triangle has 3 congruent side lengths. So here I try to draw an equilateral triangle, and since all the side lengths are going to be congruent, we're going to go ahead and make tick marks on each side length, 1 tick mark each. So that way we show that this shows that all 3 angles, or side lengths, not angles, all 3 side lengths are equal length. Okay, so now we have a list of words we can use to describe a triangle. On the left side, you have the words using the angle measurements, and then on the right side, you have the words using the side lengths. And now we're going to try a problem. So what I want you to do is I want you to draw a line across the bottom where we will do our first example. Okay, so for problem number 1, I want you to draw this below the line across, and make sure you add in the angle measurements. What we're going to do is we're going to classify the triangle by its angles and sides. So we first want to look at the 3 different angle measurements. And if you notice, this angle measurement here is an obtuse angle because it's greater than 90. So if you look at the words that we use to describe a triangle by its angles, this triangle would be an obtuse triangle because it has 1 obtuse angle. So we're going to write obtuse. Okay, now we're going to look at the side lengths, and there are no tick marks on the triangle, but what you should know about triangles is if their angle measurements are different degrees, that means that their side lengths are going to be different lengths. And the bigger the degree, the greater the angle measurement, the opposite side length will be the longer side. So this is going to be a longer side. And since this is a smaller angle measurement, the opposite side right here, this side right here, is going to be the smallest side. Okay, so since these are all 3 different, then these are going to be 3 different side lengths. So when you look at your vocabulary words for sides, that's going to mean that it is a scalene triangle, no congruent sides. So we're going to write that after the word obtuse. Go ahead and write that down and box your answer. And right now we're going to do a movie clue. And while I was recording this video, there was the lawnmower outside of my house that kept running, so I kept trying to edit it out. Anyways, if you didn't hear it, that's a good thing. But our code word on the side here, I want you to write the word lawnmower. Okay? And now let's continue. Okay, for problem 2, I want you to copy what you see on your screen, pause the video to do so, and when you're ready to continue, press play. Please pause now. So in this problem, we're going to try to figure out how many degrees this angle X is. So we have to use the fact that we know that the 3 angles in a triangle add up to 180. So then what we're going to do is we're going to write an equation that looks like this. X plus 53 plus 90 equals 180. Now this 90 came from this angle right here. We know that when we see a square like this, that it indicates it's a 90-degree angle. Now from here, before we solve, we're going to simplify our like terms on the left side. So the 90 and the 53, we're going to add them. So now we have a new equation. It's x plus 143 equals 180. And then the last step is to circle the variable, okay? And then when we're trying to get the x by itself, we're going to draw our line here. We're going to get rid of the 143 by subtracting 143 to each side. So now our answer for x is going to be x equals 37. And that's all for your notes. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.